Hello, everyone. This is Reverend Catherine Morrow with Wellness in Christ, and our biblical tip of the day comes from Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 40, and it goes like this. Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest? He said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments. So our tip of the day is love thy neighbor. How often, well, let's look at it this way first. It's so easy to love God or someone that you're happy with, right? It's the challenge is to love somebody that, can be annoying you. Many times we have conflicts with neighbors, some of us, but we're seeing conflicts in our world. We're seeing great separation. We're seeing, people choosing sides, so to speak, and they're throwing hate at the other side. That's a problem because in this commandment that Jesus is saying is, the second greatest commandment is to love thy neighbor. And, we have people throwing hate all over the place. And, hate is, when hate is within us, it can change the whole purpose of hate is to change our perspective. And it can make us be blinded to the truth in many ways. And, many times we wouldn't be able to see the goodness of our neighbor, because maybe they mow the lawn on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. or something ridiculous that would aggravate you. But maybe they're really, maybe they have something really beautiful to teach you and to show you. And that's the same with everything. Every single person on this planet, when they cause a reaction that's within us, that's a teaching. We have to look at ourselves and see how we're feeling and how we're responding and why. What part of us is that person either reflecting, or what part of us is that person showing us that we're carrying a pain inside of us, that we need healing. And so we have to look at all our reactions and all our feelings and then ask, the question, okay, first off, where is God in this? Second off, where is this coming from within me? Why am I feeling this, so much of this, the opposite of what God is asking of me? Why aren't I feeling this love and this mercy for each and every person on this planet? Why am I getting caught up in the hate? And, so you need to ask yourself these questions if you're experiencing that. And that can happen in families. It can happen among friends. It can happen, as among neighbors. It can happen, among people that we're watching in our world and we're judging, and we have no clue. There's always, you heard the term, there's always two sides to every story. Well, there is. And a lot of times we're not seeing the whole truth, either because we're not being shown the whole truth, or because our own perception of hate or whatever feeling and emotion we're carrying in that moment is not allowing us to see the whole truth. So I want everyone to try to love their neighbor today. When we send love to situations that are displeasing to the eye, or if we send love to others who are causing us feelings of not so much love, when we can do that, it can transform not only the situation, but it can transform all the parties that are part of it. When we fall into the energy of keep putting our power into the hate or the deception or whatever that is, we're putting more power into that situation. And so, the best tool is love. There's been many, many instances where people had been praying to the Blessed Mother, and she told them it was time to go to battle. So they pulled their swords out, and literally they watched their sword turn to rosary beads, because in God's eyes, the best power is prayer. The best power is seeing the love of each and every person in this planet and just sending them love and mercy and putting all your power into that love. You can change things. When I worked on a psychiatric dementia ward, I had patients that were very, very violent. The first thing I did when anyone new came on, I spent a solid week very close with them so I can establish a trust. That was the biggest thing, because they couldn't remember my name, but they remembered that we had a bond of trust. The second thing that I would do was I would just constantly hold a space of love continuously on that floor. I would have CNAs gossiping about other CNAs, and I would sit in my office and I would wrap the two of them with love. And I'm saying instantly it would get quiet, and then their conversation would resume, and their conversation would just be about everyday things. The gossip would have ended. I did that to patients that were picking up chairs, ready to throw them out windows. And I would just surround them with so much love. And they literally would take that chair that they were about to throw out a window, and they would place it on the ground, and then they would sit in it as if nothing had occurred. So I've experienced this. I've witnessed this. I could have got upset. I could have got angry. I could have reacted in some negative way. But I reacted in the way of love, and everything just transformed and changed. So, many of us are spiritual teachers and spiritual leaders, and we're reacting, and we're putting the power into this negative force. And it's only, what it's doing is fueling more hate and more anger. So we have a job. All of us, we have a job to start shining the love in all the places that are irritating us, and watch the change that will happen. So everyone, have a blessed day. And this is Reverend Catherine Morrow with Wellness in Christ, and our biblical tip of the day is love thy neighbor. God bless.